Welcome to Codemasters. I'm Meg, I'm the recruitment manager here. We are celebrating International Women's Day by speaking to some of our most talented and inspirational women within our teams. So if you're thinking of a career in the industry, or maybe you already work here, come and have a listen to our stories and you can see what just can be achieved. Without further ado, let's go and meet the team.
Hi, so my name's Antonia Rodriguez. I'm the licensing director for Codemasters. I head up the small licensing team that we've got that's responsible for negotiating all of the contracts for our in-game licensing.
So I'm Jenny. I'm the social media and community manager for the Formula One games. So effectively, where there's a social channel for Formula One game, I'm there. I'm the one that posts on there, replies on there, etc., etc. That's not all my job. There's other bits and pieces, looking into strategy, kind of putting data together, all that stuff. But in a nutshell, that's what it is.
Hello, my name's Amanda. I work as a game designer for Codemasters, and I work at the Cheshire office.
Hi, my name is Mehul Syed. I am part of the data and analytics team at Codemasters, currently working as the business intelligence manager.
Hi, so my name is Judy Mora and I'm a product director for the RaceNet and web team, and I look after the vision and strategy for the product as well as kind of game support and some of the external websites.
So why do you think International Women's Day is important?
I think it's important to recognise International Women's Day and to highlight the contribution that women make towards, the working world. And I think it's a great tool, for inspiring young girls and giving them opportunities or opening their minds to opportunities that exist.
International Women's Day is really important because it allows us to get together, certainly in the game industry, and celebrate all the great women who work in the games industry and around the games industry, some in positions which people may not even know about, or some in positions that may not get the spotlight all the time.
Because there's like a popular belief that there's certain roles that women don't or can't do, and in reality that's like totally wrong. Like everybody knows that. Everybody knows, like anecdotally, girls don't play games, but kind of it's in the popular belief. So I think like stuff like the Women in Games group, I think International Women's Days are really good platforms to try and sort of shine a light on, yes, there is lots and lots of people and women and a very, very diverse people here.
International Women's Day is important as it reminds us to pause, take a break and connect with other inspiring women around the world. It reminds us to look back at our struggles and challenges so that we can recognize how we've managed to overcome those challenges. It just gives us a moment to be proud of all our achievements and to celebrate our success.
Women's Day is important to me as a way of kind of celebrating and inspiring kind of the next generation of women, and to showcase that anything is possible.
So how did you get into the games industry, and what made you decide on the games industry?
I actually fell into the games industry. It wasn't that I was actively looking for a role in gaming, but it just sort of happened that way. My first job was at Codemasters, so I've been with the company for over 20 years now. It was an opportunity to go and visit racing circuits around the world and go and photograph cars and tracks. So it was quite an exciting role, and my first role out of university.
I mean, gaming was a massive part of my life growing up. My parents gamed, I still game, they still game. It's a massive part of kind of my family and who I am. But I never really thought it was for me. And one day I got sent this job advert it was social media, it was for a games company, and an interest in motorsport would be preferred. And I kind of went, oh, what have I got to lose, right? If I apply for this and send everything off, what have I got to lose? So I did that, and to my surprise, I got a call for an interview. So I went to the interview. I mean, at this point, I was already working in social media for someone else, so I'd kind of got the skills and the skill set in social media and what they wanted to do. But I kind of went down to the interview and interviewed, and I think to my massive surprise, I got offered the job. And here I am. And I think it's testament that, you know, women do belong in the games industry. Women do have a part to play.
What's your career highlight so far?
Each game launch, you know, is a career highlight. You know, I'm really proud of the fact that, you know, our team, you know, has been able to be involved in developing all of these games. And it's nice to know that, you know, we've been involved sort of throughout the process of development. So, you know, that's a really nice achievement.
When I was working on Dirt Rally 2 and we were preparing for the release of Colin McRae expansion pack, I put in a new process in place which allowed us to do play testing prior to the release. So the play testing had analytics integrated into it. Prior to this, at Codemasters, play testing was a thing, but this was more based on manual feedback from the testers. So I'm really proud of the new process that we can use now prior to the release of any title or any feature release.
I think my career highlight would be having kind of been able to change into lots of different industries and been sort of trying to be successful in them. And I think sort of becoming and getting labelled as sort of in the top 20 women career changers in 2017 was definitely a career highlight for me, showcasing how you can move from one industry to the other and really sort of apply your skills. And that's really important to me and what I've tried to do in the games industry. But I guess what am I most proud of doing? I think it's possibly some of my sort of athletic sort of side, which I think really brings a lot of skills into here. And that's where I have crossed the Atlantic and I'm a sort of a world record holder. And also I've competed and I'm a World, European and World Cup medalist in 2 different sports. So I think they're some of my kind of career sort of highlights and also things I'm most proud of doing.
Which woman would you say is your biggest role model?
As I've grown up, I've been surrounded by a lot of strong female role models. I think, you know, both within my family and then as I've gone through school and, you know, university. But also, you know, one of my early line managers, you know, is one of my female role models. You know, I learned a lot from her and, you know, I learned a lot from her sort of style of management as well.
My mom is one of my role models, actually. She inspired me to never give up and made me believe that I could do anything that I set my mind to. Because of her, I'm humble but really hardworking. I've seen her work hard all through my life. She was a full-time professor at a university. She was a full-time mom. She was always there for us. And with all this, she managed to find a balance between her professional life and her personal life. Alongside this, I saw her complete her PhD. And the list doesn't stop here. She still took out some time for the community. She set up a small business of embroidery because it provided employment to the underprivileged in the local community.
So the female game designer I'd like to draw some attention to is a lady called Leslie Scott, who designed Jenga. I not so much video games, but I'm a big board game fan. And I was reading some board game magazines, and they did like a massive spread on how she got around to inventing Jenga, and it'd been something that she'd sort of invented to play with her siblings. And I was like, that's kind of what I'd been doing, and not realizing I'd been making up games to play with my brother and sister.
What piece of advice would have helped you at the start of your career in the games industry?
Be more vocal. Your opinions matter. It's something that I've had to learn, is that, you know, I deserve to be in that room. I deserve to be sitting with these really experienced people. And it took me a long time to be comfortable to voice my opinion. I think for a fear that my opinion wasn't good enough. But it absolutely is. And I deserve to be at that table. So that is one piece of advice I wish I'd have had.
I think don't be shy to ask questions or fear that you will be judged. learn from the experience of your colleagues who entered the industry before you, so that this would just help you settle in the industry quicker.
How can we get more women to come into the games industry?
I think we should definitely try to get fresh talent for newly graduate students. We can actually even consider collaborating with universities to open up internship programs and making sure that there's an opening for female internees as well as boy internees, so that we're promoting equality as well.
I think platforms like this, International Women's Day, I think the Women in Games groups do a really, really good job in giving a lot of visibility. I do think that the game industry could do a lot more to try and get BA, ME communities involved. I think that's the next hurdle we need to get.
I think the key to success here is getting people to think that there isn't actually a barrier in place and it's actually down to the person, and it's for them to feel brave more than anything else to take that first step. And I think it's trying to showcase to the women that there are lots of different roles. You don't have to come in straight from university. There are so many skills that you have to offer. And I think I'm a prime example of that. I haven't come from doing a games degree. I've come in from a totally different industry. And actually it's about the adapting skills. And if you see it as a challenge and you get excited by it, then you have to be brave and actually apply and then show how you can apply your knowledge.
What advice do you have for women trying to get into the games industry?
I think the advice that I'd give women wanting to get into the games industry is to not be afraid to apply. That there are many different departments now across all of gaming, that are accessible to women, and they should just feel empowered to sort of pursue that.
Advice for women trying to get into the games industry: keep at it. Most importantly is keep at it, keep going, keep applying, even if you are rejected however many times. And I know that can be difficult sometimes, but keep going. If you don't feel like you have enough experience in your particular field, please don't hesitate to go out into other ones first. There will be plenty of really good kind of other bits of experience that will help bolster your skill set and experience in kind of programs that you'll need to use.
So the advice I have for other people trying to get into the games industry is be persistent. I've realised you can get a real long way just by kind of turning up and being in the conversation. So that's my advice.
I think it's important that you have the passion and the drive, but most importantly, work on your skill set and research about the games industry. Specifically, if you are interested in data and analytics, then research about trending analytical tools. A lot of tools provide free trials, so look into them. Try to understand what the KPIs are. Try to understand what sort of data is valuable and how we use it within the games industry.
Tell us something about yourself that we don't know.
I'm actually a qualified hairdresser. I thought it would be valuable to not just do something sort of down the academic route, but to also, have a skill. So I went and learnt to become a hairdresser.
I love baking. I've been baking since middle school. I had food and nutrition in my GCSEs, so that's where my love for baking started. My most recent cake that I made was for my six-year-old, and I built a 3-tier Minecraft cake, all to do with games.
When I was 20 years old, I fell off a mountain and fell 200 feet, 70 feet straight down, 140 of tumbling and bouncing. And I broke my neck and pelvis quite severely. And I still suffer from sort of spinal cord injury now, but as most people look at me, they wouldn't even probably notice. And I think it's given me the drive and passion and stubbornness to kind of keep going and to try something new, and to make me kind of look at everything I do each day and think, am I doing something that kind of helps others?
So there you have it. We hope that you found the women at Codemasters an inspiration on your games industry journey. Bye for now and keep racing.